Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of FlagPlus Football's First and Goal podcast. I'm your host, Brent Bodkin.
And I'm Quaysie Maule.
All right, so it's episode number 2. So we got the ladies. So women's 3, women's 2, women's 1. We got obviously the 5v5, all the 5v5 divisions. We have intermediate and competitive. I was going to say
Yeah.
cooperative for some reason. Competitive, my bad. And of course, we have 5v5, right? So we have the co-ed 1, co-ed 2, co-ed 3 as well, and complement co-ed 5v5. My apologies. Sorry. It's been a long
Yeah.
day. It's like when it's Thursday night, it's like after 9, tired. But
Lots of
let's bang it out. Let's get
lots
through this.
lots of action. Just to let everyone know,
Yeah.
no power rankings for this week for any of the divisions. There wasn't a lot of games played, so there's no reason to there's some teams played 0 games. So no reason to kind of have a new power rankings if only 4 teams played out of the 15 teams or 20 teams. So we'll be back with that in week 8 on the next podcast. All right. So women's 3.
All right. So no games last week in women's 3, but we do have 2 games coming up this weekend. So Saturday we have the Spartiats against the Lioness, and then on Monday night in Saint Laurent, so actually I'll be scorekeeping this game. It'll be Le Hibou against Dynamique.
Yeah, that should be a
So
good game.
yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. Like you look at it again, we talked about the Lioness right now, 1-4, they're struggling, but it's a learning experience for them. Taking on a Spartias team who sits right now 2-1, right? They're 2 points behind first place, Le Hibou. Hibou sitting at 3-1-1. Like I said, they're taking on the Dynamics who are 1-2 right now, right? So I'm expecting at least one close game here. And again, I'm hoping for Lioness. Again, 4 games played, 0-4. They've only scored 12 points so far total in those 4 games. But again, it's a learning experience for them to get better. And no better time than now, right? To start for those ladies to kind of get their act together and find some momentum as
Yeah,
you go forward to the
exactly.
second half of the
They're
season.
they're in back-to-back weeks with 0 points. So hopefully this week they can at least put up maybe 6, a little touchdown here and there, maybe 12. 18 maybe be asking a bit too much, but start with 6 and then move forward from there. And then we get a rematch between Lihibu versus CCL that Dynamics as well. They played back in week 2, I want to say, where Lihibu won 25-19. So hopefully we should see another close game between both of these teams that are playing again, and then we get to see Lioness at least. Hopefully they could score at least 6 points. So they at least could not go on 3 weeks without scoring any points.
Exactly, exactly.
So
And
I
we see it all
guess
the time, right? Team. Sorry.
no. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we see it all the time, right? Teams in their first couple seasons in FPF they struggle. We talked about it last episode, right? Chattagate Community College. Now they're thriving, I think, sitting at I believe it's 4-1, right? At least in the men's division. Same thing for the ladies, right? We've seen a lot of teams struggle initially, and then once they start finding their footing, they really start to build some momentum and start to stack some wins and get some confidence. So hopefully, Lioness, you ladies can start to do that pretty soon.
Yeah, exactly. And then I guess for game of the week, I'll take the Spartans versus Lioness. You take Lihibu versus Dynamics. That means
Sure.
there's 2 games, and then we can talk about it for the next week.
There you go.
All right, women's 2.
Yeah, so women's two is a little bit busier this past week. So we had I believe 8 games in women's two, uh, going from last Saturday all the way to yesterday to Wednesday night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cavaliers knocking off the Bolts, Supernova beating
Oh
Blue
my
Legacy,
god,
Dream Killers scoring almost a 70 burger. They beat Powerpuff 65-2.
that's
That's
crazy.
yeah, I'm gonna say that again, 65-2. I mean, there's not much to say for Powerpuff. Obviously, not the outing they were hoping for. For Dream Killers, I mean, you look at it. Surprisingly, the touchdown totals aren't that big. Like Nomi Fortin, who to be has been in the league for a long time, 8 of 10, so that's great. 4 TD passes. Leanne Lafreniere, 4 of 10, 2 TD passes. Leanne Lafreniere threw 2 TD passes
He's
and
four
caught
pick
3 TD
sixes.
passes, so that was good. Eleanor Lacasse caught 2 touchdowns. There's a pick six by Emily Marcoux.
They have four
Two
pick
pick
sixes.
sixes actually by Eleanor Lacasse, and then Leanne Lafreniere. She caught a touchdown, she threw a touchdown, and she ran an INT back for a touchdown. They had three players in that game that had at least two interceptions. So that's some real defense being played. That's some Seattle Seahawks defense right there
Yeah,
being played by the
seven
ladies of
seven INTs in
the
a game
Killers.
is insane if
Yeah,
you look at it.
that's serious stuff.
But again,
That's serious
so
stuff.
I'm so confused. Powerpuff, like, why are you in women's too?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
I
I'm
don't know.
sorry.
Listen.
I'm
I'll give them credit. I'll give them credit for they were in women's three, I believe, last year at Power Plus, if I'm not mistaken.
were
Or were
they?
they? No, am I wrong?
No, I don't think so. I think this is a brand new
No,
team.
okay, so I'm thinking She Sparks and Turf Titans. My bad. Okay, yeah, not Powerpuff, but whatever. Yeah, that could be a thing where it's a rookie team. Like, okay, we're too good, and it's that slap in the face you get. We're too good for the lowest division. Let's go to maybe the second lowest or second highest in this case, right? And yeah, that doesn't always work out so well, and that's the case with Powerpuff. So, ladies, let me give you some advice. Take it if you want. This is a humbling experience, so learn from it and get better from it. Maybe next year, maybe in the spring season, depending how many divisions there are, go to the lowest division and see what you could do there before hopping up to the second highest women's division.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Just some
They also
advice.
they play Turf Titans next week, so that's gonna be the. I think that's gonna be the test. Like I think that's gonna be like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Turf
yeah,
Titans
yeah.
made that jump. Powerpuff Girls a new team. They come in. They're playing versus a team that made that jump. So it's to a point if Turf Titan puts up 40 plus on you and you guys don't score any points, then like you have no business to be in women's two. But as you kind of said, it's a reality check, and at least you know. I know sometimes we're a lot of women's team when they sign up, they kind of look at women's three. Oh, sorry, not women's team, but just teams in general. They kind of look like, oh no, we're not that bad. We're gonna be better than than what we're gonna be better than the worst division, lowest division, and then sometimes to a point where some of these women's three, I think like I'm assuming Powerpuff would be doing so much better women's three, but it's to point sometimes people don't realize how good a division actually could be, especially if you have a struggling team. This seems like it's a new team. I would want to say maybe there are a few friends on the team as well too. I I'm bad at names, but I know the girl Melissa
Millette?
Milete.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Melissa Millette. Yeah.
she plays. I think she plays co-ed. Um, I want to say she plays co-ed for Shark Attack. I think I've seen her before. Let me
Right.
just.
Okay. 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 Well, I'm looking at the roster here, man. Like besides Alexandra Morin, who maybe she was just a sub, maybe she only played two games. Pretty much the majority of everybody else is rookies. There's Emma Mandel who's played some games. And yeah, like, so yeah, Melissa Miller. I think you're right. She does play for Shark Attack. I've seen her face. Thank you, Shark Attack and Shadow Squad. Thank you, Ali Reza. Okay, so it's predominantly a bunch of rookies and two people with some experience. Again, that's we're too good for the lowest division. Again, you get slapped in the face with that reality check, and they'll be better for it. At least they'll be better for it. Again, learning experience, and hopefully they'll get better from here.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, sometimes it just takes that to kind of realize, like, okay, let's go women's three next season and let's try to compete there, and then hopefully things work out a bit better. But again, big matchup between them and Power Puffers, Tur Titans to kind of exactly see where they stand. I believe these are probably two of the lowest teams. Tur Titans are 0-2, so again, you have two teams that are winless. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how both these teams perform against each other for
All right.
this match.
Just looking at the rest of the thing. Any games? Well, besides that, any other games to sign up for you?
Other than that, no. Again, shout out to Jim Killers dropping 65. I don't care who you're playing. 7 INTs, 4 pick 6s. It's something to kind of to be happy about. I mean, even the fact you guys play a new team, it is what it is. You guys came out, you guys balled out, and you guys got the win. So big shout out to Gym Killers. Um, Other than that, not really. The Rock lost a close one to Old School. Then
Yeah,
Old School
heartbreaker,
lost a
man.
close one to Vanny Cheetahs, 1 point game for
Yep.
both of these teams. So that's also nice, curious to see. Nomads wins a big one versus Supernova, 33-20. So it's a big win for them. Um, yeah, and then old school goes Old School moves to 3-0, and then Nomads also go into 3-0. So you have three teams right now that are 3-0, and then you have the Cavaliers kind of looking after looking at the back end, they're at the 7th seed right now, so no one's kind of really paying attention to them because they only have two games played, but they're at 2-0. So teams that kind of had to get a win this week got a win. So again, looking back at the week 6, Cavs got the win. Supernova got the win. Gene Killers got the win. Old School dropped one, but then Family got the win. And then Vanny Cheetahs got 2 wins there versus Old School and versus La Sorte. So that's a good win. And then Nomads also got a big win. But no, other than that, nothing like really spoke out to me other than the Powerpuff Dream Killers dropping as you were saying, they dropped the 65 ball on Powerpuff.
Yeah. I will say something you just mentioned Valhalla against 13-0 victory over La Sorority. So again, you shut out a team that deserves some props for sure. So shout out to those ladies. Quarterback also Kim Lau Lorraine, 15 and 24, 181 yards, 2 TDs in that game. Given that defense really sealed the deal.
Pitchers
Nema
horrible.
Bernard, 2 sacks in that game. That's pretty impressive.
If you look at
Um,
Les Ortiz, they need to change their pitcher like tomorrow. Like their pitcher's really bad. Um,
really.
yeah, if you look at Les
Yeah, yeah.
Ortiz,
So, well, I mean, that's not on them, right? That's
no,
on
no, no,
whichever
that's
scorekeeper took that
that's
pick.
whoever the score. That's on the score. You can't even see. I don't know who's 11. You can't even see 11 in the back. I see Clara there on the far left
Yeah.
side, but yeah, they're gonna have to we're gonna retake your picture. You guys are gonna have to.
That's on the scorekeeper. I mean, you gotta see that and ask for redo right away. Anyways, that's not on you, ladies.
Kind
Uh,
of blew. Yeah,
so
someone's phone, iPad. Because if you look at Valhalla's picture too, I'm assuming they took it the same day. It's also kind of blurry. So someone had a bad iPad day, picture day.
yeah, yeah. Could be something where they had their phone in their pocket, and then when they grabbed it to take it out, they probably their thumb might have wiped the lens, but didn't realize it. I don't know how you don't realize that, but I mean, hey,
Yeah. But yeah, anyways,
ladies,
there's that.
ask for a redo, you'll get a redo done.
But no, shout out to Valhalla. They're able to. I mean, again, La Sorte, eh? La Sorte is
Sorority. It's a sorority. That's what it
sorority.
is.
Yeah, the sorority. They're a decent team. So the fact that they're able to shut them down, scoring 0 points, I mean, it's a thing.
That's
You
it.
have
Yeah.
Claire at quarterback. She's the. You know what's kind of funny? People always wonder how good a quarterback is. She's a great uh, backup quarterback. So she's the type of person where you drop her, like you have a starting quarterback and you drop her as a second QB. So she's a very good second
Right.
quarterback.
Right.
As
Right.
a first quarterback, you can see their struggles. The reads are a bit different, but when it comes to being a second quarterback, she's a very good. She's able to make space and she's able to use her legs and she has really she's dipping, she's turning her body left and right. But there, people always wonder like, oh, like how can you not be good, but you're so good as a second quarterback, But it's completely different being as you drop as a quarterback, other than you start as a quarterback. Like for me, like I'm a good. If you draw me as a second quarterback, I'm good. But if I'm playing the whole game, like
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
the
Yeah.
results are completely different. And you also have to realize that defenses don't realize how different it is when you drop two quarterbacks. Like a defense could literally the coverage could literally just like your coverage literally breaks and everyone starts doing whatever they want, and then you just get a wide open throw or a wide open lane where you're able to run. So it's a big difference. But
Right.
again, shout out as you said, shout out to them for getting a shutout against them, allowing them only 0 points.
Shut
It's
up.
always
Shut up. No matter how you get it, it could be
yeah.
80-0, 2-0. This case, 12-0. Shut up. Shut up. Mad respect.
Mhm.
So I had a conversation. So I know you and I, Quaysie, we were talking about this in Ali Rez as well. Ali Rez is our producer for the show. You can't hear him, but we could hear him. So before we went to air today, just talking about a little conversation that I had with a friend of mine from my favorite team, Chaos. So I'll tell you who it was. Obviously, so it's Marilyn Cesare, again, one of the leaders on this chaos squad. Again, a good squad. Sorry, 13-0 was the win. Sorry, by Valhalla over La Sorority. My apologies. So talking to Marilyn this past Monday, she was a referee in Saint Laurent's where I scorekeeper on Monday nights, 9 to 11. Come check me out if you want. Uh, so she was talking about her team, and so she, along with a lot of other members of the team, shout out to those ladies that watch the podcast. Um, so she said she watched it last week, and it's funny. So we came up. I came up the stairs, waiting for stupid soccer to get finished with because God knows they can't get out the field a little earlier than they're supposed to at 8:55. They want to get out the field at 9 and they can play when we have to stay on past 10:55. But that's the Saint Laurent complex for you. Close to my house, so I don't mind going there. It's just the soccer people are a pain, but not for,
Oh,
that's
different
neither here or
different
there.
conversations.
Yeah, exactly. So I hate soccer, to be honest with you. I mean, it's a sport. I respect people to play soccer properly, but all the diving and the lack of toughness. Anyways, I'm a football guy. It is what it is. Okay, so I came up the stairs. I said, "What's up to Maryland?" So we're talking. And about 30 seconds into the conversation, I forget what we were talking about, but she dropped and she's like, "What's your problem with our team?" I was like, "Huh?" She's like, "What's your problem with chaos?" And I was like, "I have no problem with chaos. I like chaos. I'm friends with some of the people on the team. Some of the people on the team know me, like they know my face from the podcast or from calling championship games, whatever, for FPF. Like people like Allison. I mean, are we like friends? No, but I mean, she sees me. Last time we said what's up to each other. She shoved it in my face the fact that you guys had won the championship. And rightfully so. Again, when I'm wrong, I'm the first to say that I'm wrong. So I'm never going to use this platform to speak lies, and I'm never going to use this platform to hide the fact when I am wrong, because God knows I'm wrong about half the things that I say sometimes, especially on here. But last week's episode, right? We called out chaos for playing in women's two. Now
Right.
Marilyn, I brought this up to her again. I respect Marilyn. She's awesome. I like when she's a ref because like she always calls it down the middle. When she makes a mistake, she'll say it, she'll own up to it, and she's just good people in general, right? So I always like hanging out with Marilyn. She's good people. And so she said I'm not gonna get into the whole conversation, but I'm like, I'm not hating on chaos. I'm not hating on them at all. Like I respect Gigi, obviously. I respect Emma, Rochelle, obviously Lamise. I'm friends with Lamise. I respect Allison. I respect everybody on the team, right? These you ladies are like a top team, not just in women's too, in all of FPF, right? Specifically, obviously the women's division. You guys are a top team. So there's no question about that. You guys have been to multiple championship games. You've won some, you've lost some, like everybody else, right? That's neither here or there. But again, I'm not saying anything wrong when I say you're division dodging because you are division dodging. It's 100% division dodging. Now, so I brought this up to Maryland. So she's like, "Well, I go okay. Look at the box score for some of the teams you play." Now, again, the other teams who are in women's too. That's not your fault. It can't be. You don't control who signs up and who doesn't, or who elects to stay in women's three, or who makes the jump like you guys should be doing to women's one. I'm like,
Mhm.
look at the box score. You beat Valhalla 20 to nothing. I have it right here in front of me. And then you beat the Rock 34-18. Probably should have been a little bit bigger than that, but whatever. It's early in the season. And then you guys smoked Turf Titans 58-6. So I'm like, okay, 58-6. That's when you get to the point where it's like two teams barely scored a touchdown. One of them didn't. And then kind of Rock veteran squad. The Rock are 0-5. Are they as bad as the 0-5 record suggests? Probably not. I don't think they are.
No.
Right. But I'm like, why would you guys not? Sorry, why would you ladies not play women's one? It's just like last week. I started going through the roster, like yourself, Lemise, Allison, a bunch of day one former Vanier Cheetahs that are on this team, right? I'm like, you guys brought back Rochelle, so that's a huge addition to your, well, re-addition, I guess you could say, to your team. And then I'm like, then you have the elite players like Gigi, and you have Emma, and that's not selling anybody else short, right? Like, I mean, you look at your team, you have Heidi, right? Heidi's super quiet, but I've seen her; she can ball. You have so I'm not sure if Coralie Leduc is I think she's a full time
Yeah,
member on
she's
your
full
roster.
time.
Okay,
She's
full
full
time.
time. It seems
Okay,
like Naomi
baller.
hasn't played a game yet.
Yeah,
They do
Naomi Oma,
lose.
exactly.
They do lose
Ballers.
Naomi if they do go to women's one, but
Yeah,
again,
she said
they're
that last
playing
week.
fine
Yeah.
without her right now. So the
Oh,
add on of
and exactly. That
the,
was my
the
point. That was my point.
the add on with Coralie is perfect. Great defensive player for
Mhm.
their roster. So I mean,
Smart
it's
player
like
too.
and then again, Naomi's a rusher slash defensive, but you have Heidi that's a great rusher as well too. So Coralie kind of can make up for Naomi, and then you have Heidi that kind of could also make up for Naomi on both those ends of the DB and a rusher. So I mean, they're to be honest, from offense and defense, they're pretty much set. Like there's
They're
no
set. And again, this is a team that has played in tons and tons and tons of big games. Like I said last week, right? I don't want to throw too much shade because they did try to go women's one as either women's one or maybe at the time women's day. I can't remember
it
what
was
season it
tier
was. It was
one
a long
or
time ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
They played women's one last season,
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So
or
more
did
recently
they?
than I thought. Did it go great for them? No, but I mean, I look at the landscape right now. Women's
Yeah,
one, Sub Zero, Cayenne, right top of the top. You have Matrix, obviously still a contending team. Blue Pound, who's 0 and 4, sorry, 0 4 and 1, and then the Sherbrooke, the very your team, who are 0 and 2. Again, it's a predominantly rookie team, just starting off. They made the jump. Why can't you? And this is not your fault that women's one only has 5 teams. Well, it is actually kind of your fault that women's one only has 5 teams.
interesting.
Not that a bunch of other teams didn't sign up, but the fact that you guys should have been one of those 5 teams and you have enough talent and football smarts on your roster to compete in women's one. Would you guys be beating Cayenne and Sub Zero every week? No, probably not. But can you at least get a game or two off of them? I think you ladies are talented enough to definitely do that. That's my point. Staying in Division Two and beating down on teams who, in Maryland's defense, well, they should have went in women's three then if they're not good enough for women's two. Now that's right. She's not wrong on that. But my point is the fact that you ladies are just too good for that division. That's on you guys. That's not on no one else. You guys have dominated most of the teams in this division. Like I said last week, yeah, there's this Wolf Pack. That's one of your rivals. You guys play against them. You guys usually beat them more often than not. There's Gym Killers, a veteran squad, right?
Yeah, they
Talked
beat
about
them
her to
as
be as a
well.
quarterback. I don't think those guys. I don't think those ladies are going to beat you in the playoffs.
They
Same
don't.
thing with
They never.
Valhalla
They don't
and
struggle
Nomads.
versus. They don't struggle versus any of these teams. Like
They
I
don't
get this.
exactly.
I get this saying. Yeah, some of these teams shouldn't be in women's too. Again, perfect example: Powerpuff, Turf Titans, Blue Legacy, definitely should not be anywhere close between women's two. Um, Powerpuff, the Rock right now, the way the season they're having, maybe they should be in women's three and maybe get some confidence in winning some games there. But
Yeah, and
again,
the quarterback
some of
change
these
too. Yeah.
some of these teams, like again, you have Wolfpack, beatable. Valhalla, they scored zero on you. Whenever you guys play Gym Killers, it's always not a blowout, but it's not. You guys, she struggles when she plays
You
the
beat
Chaos
them because you
defense.
should, because you're better than them. It's all it
Um,
is.
there,
It's like you know what it is. You know what it is. It's like when you have. Okay, it's a bad example now because of the year they had, but it's like watching the Chiefs take on the Jets. Can the Jets beat the Chiefs? Yeah, I mean maybe out of 10 times they could beat them once, maybe twice on a really bad day when the Chiefs, like this past season, aren't always up to the game. The Chiefs should still be beating the Jets on a regular basis. It's the same thing with Chaos taking on teams like we talked about Dream Killers. No disrespect to Dream Killers, but it is what it is, right? Chaos has a better roster. That's all it
yeah,
is.
up to bottom, yeah, top to bottom. But I think the more the question is how much more, sorry,
How better can
how
you get playing women's too?
yeah, exactly, how better, but also like when's the jump gonna happen? You know, so to a point where I believe Chaos should go undefeated this year. Maybe they'll drop one, maybe they'll go 9-1, but I see them going to the championship, right? So let's say they go to the championship.
And
Hopefully they
what?
win because if they lose, they
Yeah.
do have the excuse saying, "Oh well, we didn't win women's two last season, so we're gonna go back to women's two win again," right?
And
But
that's lame. I'm sorry. That's
how?
lame. That's lame. If you guys crap the bed, I'm gonna call you over here. If all y'all crap the bed and don't, and I told Marilyn this on Monday. You could ask her if you don't believe me. I said if you guys lose more than one game this year, what does that say about you guys? You guys should be running away with this division. I said last week I think you guys should probably go 10-0. Worst case scenario. Pardon me, 9-1. If you guys don't run away with this division, that speaks to you guys as a team. And not to say you're not ready for women's one. That maybe it's just a thing where maybe in the big games you might not deliver. It's happened before with lots of teams here in FPF. You ladies as well. Again, I have faith in you in this team. I think this team is the best team in women's two, hands down. Should win the championship with ease, to be honest with you. And then if you guys win this championship, this should be it. This
Yeah,
this
there's no
this,
one
this should absolutely be it.
unless you guys lose players like a good amount of players. Let's just say Rochelle leaves, right?
Yeah, again,
For
she
some
leaves
reason you lose
again.
PG, you lose Naomi. Naomi doesn't come back. We'll say she's not playing. We leave Coralie because I believe Coralie plays for uh the other team. I forgot their name. She played on the other team before. I think the Crocs. She played the Crocs back in the
Yeah,
last
I think
two
it was Lori, if
seasons.
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the Crocs played in I
Yeah.
think winter. So she sometimes, but they didn't have a season. They didn't have a team this thing. So she kind of came along with chaos. But if you guys lose some good females, then okay, fine, go women's too. But if you're having this roster that you have now, there's no reason again. Like being in women's two doesn't do anything. It's like yeah, it is fun and it's fun in games winning by 50, and you guys are hyping each other up. But it's the point
Of
where
course.
like to what extent are you gonna make the move? Like what okay, like when's the jump gonna actually happen and then you're gonna have to stay like that, right? I feel like you're not
Sure,
gonna
yeah.
get any worse in women's one. You're just gonna get better. You're gonna have to get better. You're gonna have to adapt. I feel like women's two, you're not getting any better because you don't have to be better. You get easy interceptions, you get easy touchdowns, you get easy blown coverage versus teams that are don't they just can't match up with you. At least in
Yeah.
women's one, you're going to be
Yes.
playing versus girls that understand certain concepts, and you're actually going to have to earn each and every single win. And when trust me, when you guys beat these women one teams, you're going to feel so much better and be like, we just beat a team that practices 3 times a week and has their coach and stuff like that. Like there's more advantage of going up than being going down. Sorry, there's more advantage of being in women's one than there is to be in women's two in the long run. If you're looking at the short term, yeah, you probably can maybe win an air championship here and there, and you guys can build up your confidence of blowing up teams. But other than that, going into the future, there's nothing there. So make the jump now, go into women's one, get those hard earned wins, build that confidence, build your team, get better, and then the next 2-3 years, where I'm sure all these girls are going to be still be playing, unless for some reason injuries happen, something like that. You're able to compete in women's one, and you could be one of those top teams. And instead of us here talking about chaos being in women's two and why the women's two, we could be like, oh my god, look at chaos right now in their women's one. Did you see the game that they had versus Sub Zero where they lost in the last play? Or they played Matrix and they're ahead first half, or Allison had a great game and stuff like that. Like it's the jump is now.
Yeah. And again, just to be clear, Quaysie and I don't hate you. Like we cheer for you. I honestly cheer for you guys when you guys are playing. Like again, I'm friends with some of you on the team, and I've been part of FPF for a long time. Where I've gotten to see almost everyone on your team. I've seen play either on Chaos or formerly Red Nation or other teams as well, right? So I like seeing excellence in football and in FPF, and you guys have that excellence, and credit to you. And I know the argument may be to this, oh well, next 2 weeks we're going to be playing Nomads, and then after that we're going to be playing another undefeated team in the Cavaliers. Yeah, that's great. No one cares. No one cares, honestly. You should
Yeah.
beat them. They're undefeated, Nomads and Cavaliers. So I'm not going to say it's going to be a cakewalk. You have to respect them. Obviously, you have to respect anybody you go on the field against. That's part of sports. But where's the drive to like Quasi talked about, right? The drive to get better. You'll get marginally better by beating Nomads and Cavaliers versus how much better you can be if you can knock off a Matrix, a Cayenne, a Sub Zero, right? I'm my whole point is again not to throw a bunch of shade at you guys because you guys are fantastic players, 100%. And again, like I said, I do actually cheer for you guys when you play because I do like a lot of the individuals on this team and even as a collective. But it's like I'm like, where's that competitive spirit? Where's that? You know what? We can do this. Are we gonna go 10-0 or 9-1 or 8-2 in women's one? No, probably not. But can we get into the playoffs where it matters the most and knock off some of these higher teams where you guys pardon me being chaos or looked at as the underdog? Why not? That's my biggest gripe is the fact that there appears, at least on the surface, and again, I'm not in. I was gonna say in the locker room. I'm not in the huddle with you ladies. I'm not on the drive there to drive back from your games. I'm not in the group chats, the group phone conversations, whatever the case may be. Maybe there is that hunger, that competitive spirit. I would imagine so with some of you for sure, at least. But where's that hunger to get better and to knock off the heavyweights? That's what I think is lacking, and that's my biggest gripe with this chaos team again, who I'm going to say are division dodgers. I'm sorry, it is what it is. I'm never going to come off that. I will die on that hill of chaos being division dodgers till you make the jump. And if you go 5-5 or 6-4, even or you know what I mean, or 4-6, fine, that's all right. and it's not just me just saying it. Let's be clear, it's not just Quaysie and I who are talking about this. We hear rumblings around the league from different players and that who are like, why are these ladies still here in women's too? So it's not just I didn't pull this out of my backside, right?
Hmm.
Anyway, make the jump. Whatever happens, happens. That's what I'm saying. I think you'd be able to look at yourself. Not, I don't want to make it big, but you can look at yourself in the mirror by making that jump. No, okay, like, this is only football, right? It's not life. But I just think you guys would have more respect from around the league if you made that jump. And again, if you go 10-0 and win a championship, that's great. I'll respect that, no doubt, because undefeated is undefeated no matter what. I just think the championship will be looked at if you guys win it. Will be looked at a lot better if it happens in women's one versus women's two, or at least an attempt to get a championship would be looked at a lot better in women's one versus women's
Yeah,
two.
it's kind of the thing I was kind of saying where there's no benefit of you playing in a certain division where it's kind of saying like if you let's just say if they play so they play Cavaliers next week, right? Yeah, they play Cavaliers next week. If they beat Cavaliers, whip de doo. If Cavaliers beat them, then it's a whole different thing. If they play when they play Nomads week 8, if they beat Nomads, whip de doo. But if Nomads beat
Yeah,
them, then it's a
yeah.
big talk, you know.
I can
So
see it
it's kind of
already
like
too. If Cavaliers beat them all, you see, we should be in women's two. We're in the right division. What do you know, man? Yeah, sure.
yeah. So I mean, I
We
think
should be
there's
in women's one.
they're kind of talking about that in right now in call. I think we talked about it the last podcast, the possibly before that. They're kind of talking about it where teams don't get benefits of playing worse teams, you know. So like that's why good teams don't play bad teams in certain conferences because it's to a point where if you're gonna play a team that's not even ranked and they beat you where you're favored by 20 points, it's the same gambling terms, whatever. There's no benefit you being these teams, so they kind of have to look at it like that. Like, yeah, they end up having a chip on their shoulder every time they play versus these teams, but they should be beating these teams in general. The fact where and then it comes to also the fact where if they go play women's one, it's a whole switch where now they don't have to really stress about losing these games because they should come in non favorite like when they're playing Sub Zero or they're playing a Matrix, they're going to be a non favorite team. But
Yeah.
when they win those games, it's such a bigger hype. So
Listen, I hear. Listen, it's like Georgia going to play. I don't know, Maine in football. How much better is Georgia going to get from being Maine?
no, I think it's a confidence
That's my
boost.
point. It's a pad your stats
Yeah,
and get some
there's
W's.
only so many games that you could have of those, you know, before it's like, okay, guys, it's enough. Time to play those Bama, you know, time to play Indiana, time to play those those top 5, 10 teams, you know. But
Listen, for me, I mean, if you want to go on. I'm just gonna say for me, I'll close it off like this: Chaos or Red Nation, under whichever title, obviously now it's Chaos, but whichever title, whichever name they've had, they've been so good for so long that I think having them play against the best of the best is something that I know I want to see for sure on a consistent basis, not a one-off season here, maybe a
mm,
one-off season a couple years ago or a couple years in the future. No, they're so good, Chaos. They're as a group, not just individuals. They have some great individual players, but as a group, as a team, you leaders are so good that we want to see you play against the best of the best because I personally think you guys can knock off some of the best in women's one. That's actually why I want to see it. To be honest, 100% with you.
yeah,
You guys, it's your money, it's your time, so you guys can invest it how you want to. And if you want to keep on rolling in women's too, that's your prerogative. That's your choice. I just think it's disappointing to keep on going against teams who you're clearly better against and are not going to help you get better by any significant margin. That's just my opinion.
yeah, exactly. All right, women's one. Talking about
Step it
women's
up.
one.
Right.
Women's
All right, yeah.
one.
Women's one.
So women's one. I don't think we had any. Did we have any games in one? So we had one
Yeah.
women's one. We had one game. We had Kion versus Blue Pawn.
Oh, yeah.
Kion won that game 34-18. So Blue Pawn's kind of struggling right now. They're 0-4-1. They have one tie, and I believe that was against Matrix. So I mean, good tie for them. Again, Blue Pawn's usually a team that's usually at the bottom. Usually when they're Sub Zero, Kion, Matrix, they're usually the fourth. They are usually the fourth team. They're usually at the bottom. They have Vet AR this season, so it's going to be interesting to see when they do play them. That's going to be next week. So in 2 weeks from now, they're going to be playing in Brossard. So that should be a good matchup between those two teams. Moving forward, looking at the standings, Sub Zero 4-0, Cayenne 3-1, 2-2 for Matrix, Blue Pawn 4-1, and then Vetical dropped their last two games the week before. We kind of talked about it. Not the start that they wanted, but again, they're gonna get better. I don't think they're gonna get worse. They're gonna get better and get that experience. That I think that's the reason why they're in this league is to get better, and they're playing versus the best of the best. And to be honest with you, I think it's a privilege. And we talked about before that the fact that you get to play some of these girls from Matrix and these girls from Sub Zero, like you're playing the best of the best in Canada, and you can't play unless you're going in the States and you're playing versus these other teams. But if you want to play versus the best talent in Canada, you're in the right spot. So
Yeah,
again, shout out to them for making the trip over here. Because Sherbrooke is still about 2 hours there. So maybe some of these girls go to school there and they kind of have to drive there and back during the weekend, stuff like that, or certain games. So I'm sure that's kind of frustrating, but shout out to them because I feel like for them, they're looking at the long term. They're looking at the long term of playing all these good teams and bringing
and
all what
getting
they
better.
learned. Yeah, exactly, getting better and
Exactly.
and using this for the next level and for the competitions that they're going to be playing in the near future. So
Exactly.
hopefully, that Blue Pond versus Vetkal game should be good because you do have the bottom of the teams play versus each other, and they do. Blue Pond is basically UCAM, most of the girls there. So again, they do play against each other in the university league as well. So that should be a good matchup to see.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, hey, listen, again, like we talked a little before, like you said, Ferrier making that jump. They knew probably wasn't going to be pretty, but this is how you get better as a team. You don't dodge divisions. You go in the highest division. You test yourself because again, their big picture is the 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 academic season, right?
Mhm.
So good for them by hopping, jumping in the water with both feet and just hopping in there and saying whatever happens happens. They'll be better for it. A question I have for you right now. So we're looking at the upcoming schedule, right? So we see again, unfortunately for the Veyor, like so they have Cayenne this Saturday and Brassard. So actually, I'll be there for that game, and then they have later on Saturday. Yeah, 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 the back-to-back games. Yeah, against Sub Zero. So it's gonna be ugly. I hopefully not, but chances are it might be. I want to ask you. So Sub Zero and Cayenne, I'm looking at it right now. So Sub Zero definitely their defense is better. They've given up fewer points than Cayenne has. Pardon me. Sorry. But looking at the offense right now, right? Like I'm looking at it here, and Cayenne actually, if I'm not mistaken, Cayenne's averaging about 34 points again, whereas Sub Zero is averaging 31. Not a huge difference, but Cayenne has scored more points. So one team has more points on offense, the other team has given up a lot less actually on defense. Right now, looking at the standings, I mean, the head-to-head between Cayenne and Sub Zero, they met. Actually, they have not met yet. Actually, so my apologies. So Cayenne actually losing the Matrix 36-35 week one. That's right, well, technically week two of the season. So it's back on January 10th, a while ago. When they do go head to head, so looking at again, speaking of Sub Zero and Cayenne, that's going to be on March 7th, so week 10, so a little ways away. Right now, though, looking at the standings, who do you think right now is the better team, Sub Zero or Cayenne?
Um, the better team. Well, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because they do always play. Like I don't know. It's hard to say because sometimes when they play for certain teams, players are not there. You don't know exactly who's there. Again, the stats you kind of said, it seems like Cayenne is the better team right now. I believe, right?
At least offensively, by
Offensive,
a little
yeah.
bit.
But again, I'm a defensive guy. Defense. I feel like defense wins championships. Um, but I would say Cayenne is the better team right now. If we're kind of looking back, if you want to kind of go backwards and kind of look at the last tournament that both these teams did when they went to Tampa, I mean I believe Cayenne performed better than them. into the tournament. I think they got ranked better than them, so I would kind of go based off of that. Cayenne's having a better start of the season from the start of January to going now. If that, I feel like that's more of a stat line that I would personally take.
Yeah.
Um, again, Cayenne, yeah, that's my stat line. I would go with Cayenne. In that term, it's kind of hard to kind of say who's a better team in FPF because they didn't play versus each other. So we kind of have to get
Yeah.
that first game versus each other. But I think they play only once. They played
Yeah, I think it's
twice.
only
They
once.
played back in
No,
they played March 7th and April
yeah.
15th. So we have a good month before we actually get to see a matchup between two powerhouse teams, Cayenne and Sub Zero. They're so used to playing each other. But again, if I'm gonna answer the question, I'm gonna give it to Cayenne.
Okay, so give it to Cayenne because I'm looking at the schedule right now, right? So Sub-Zero's played Blue Paw twice. They beat them 38-18 and then 31-7. Then they beat Sherbrooke 41-6. They play Matrix. So Matrix again, Matrix is the only team that has knocked off Cayenne. Sub-Zero played Matrix Sunday, February 1st, right? Sub-Zero escaped with like a 13-7 win, right? So not as if they really lit up the scoreboard. I'm just looking, going back at that game. Yeah, so Sarah Parker was there, Catherine Gomo was there, Laurence Pourbriand. I think we talked about them last week. They were all there. All their big name players. Sabrina Gervais was there as well. Jessica Bosi Tappan, right? Looking at Elizabeth Ashkar again. We did touch on this game last week. Only 7 points scored for the Matrix offense. So again, 13-7 win for Sub-Zero over Matrix. You look at though Cayenne. Cayenne's played Matrix twice. Again, Matrix beat them to start the season 36-35. And then Cayenne returned the favor 2 weeks later and beat Matrix 33-32. So Cayenne has
Mm.
definitely played the harder schedule. Cayenne's then played Blue Paw twice. They beat them 32-6 and 34-18. So Cayenne has played the harder schedule, at least to start so far, than Sub-Zero. Like you said, they haven't played each other yet. They're going to play each other 2 times during the regular season. But you're saying 100% right now, Quaysie, you feel that Cayenne right now, at least on paper, is a better team than Sub-Zero.
Yeah, on paper right now, I feel like Cayenne's a better team.
All right. So there you have it. So ladies from both sides, feel how you feel and take it how you will with that one. I think again the first matchup on March 7th. That's a Saturday. Is going to be in Laval, 9:30 p.m. Week 10. Make sure you check that one out. Cayenne Sub Zero, and then like I said, the rematch is well pretty much about a month later, April 15th to close out the regular season. Sub Zero and Cayenne that'll be in Chateauguay. So two big games towards the end of the season between Cayenne and Sub Zero. It's always interesting to see, right? I mean, you have all those battles all the quarterback battles between Sarah Parker, Sandrine Gobet-Hiwat. I mean, I talked about obviously right like with Sabrina Gervais, Jessica Bossy Tappan, all those stud players, stand-up players from Sub Zero. But you can say the same thing for Cayenne, right? With the roster that Cayenne has, right? I mean, they don't have any slouches on that team either, right? Like you talk about Annie Tyre's legacy, Big Clara Baudouin, players like that, right? So I mean, Leah Duval, the list goes on. It's always exciting to see Emma Racine. It's always exciting when these two teams meet up because there's so many players again from Team Canada, right? And just in general, even just from FPF who've been going head to head for a number of years. It's always great to see.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So no, it should be a good matchup. We're gonna have to wait a bit for it, but it's be nice to see. Also, one thing I do also realize with the like I feel like they care about it, but I feel like a lot of teams kind of try to run certain schemes because they know it only the season really the only thing that really matters is the playoffs, right? So I feel like sometimes a
Yeah.
lot of these teams
Yeah.
are trying new things. They're trying to see how things work. Their coaches are calling certain plays. They're trying to get a feel of
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
of the game, and they again using new plays, stuff like that. And when it comes to playoffs, that's where they kind of have to turn a switch and they have to get to the next level. So I also see a lot of times where it is still competitive, but you kind of can see that they're trying to do new things, especially the fact that everyone does make playoffs. It's the perfect timing. It's the perfect time to try these new plays. Both these rosters are also super big. Rosters are kind of big for a lot of teams, and it's 5-on-5, right? So you do want to get a lot of people reps. You kind of want to see what you have. You want to see if this person can play this position, or maybe instead of her playing the two, let's play her in the four. Maybe she could start snapping. You're trying to do new
Yeah. Yeah.
things, and I think a lot of it is a lot of practice. So there's also that also comes to a factor as well with some of these games.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
Some of it's practice and some of it's also kind of throw off the team, right? Like, okay, so this person last game did that. So that's one more thing you have to kind of keep in the back of your mind. When in the rematch, there's a chance that will never happen again. But this is something to give you. It's kind of like, when you have a practice and sometimes there's going to be players from other teams or coaches from other teams, even during pregame watching what you're doing. So you run a couple BS plays. You have no intention of ever running, but you know, let's say some coaches, let's say you're playing against McGill, right? You know that you're playing Sherbrooke the week after. There's going to be some coaches from Sherbrooke sitting in the stands and watching what you're doing. Okay, we're running this play just to get them to think about it,
yeah,
just to get
exactly.
them
Because
to,
they
yeah,
have to
yeah,
put that in their game plan.
the gameplay.
So they
Exactly,
have to
exactly,
waste
exactly.
time. Yeah. So yeah, we've done that
Yeah,
before. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you've done it too when you're there. You put in a
100%.
play where you have that play is not coming back on the field until playoffs. So you do it during you do it like week 2, and then you play this team. Let's say the next week, and they're prepping for it for like an hour, 30 minutes, and making sure, hey, check, running back motions here. It's a trick play, and then it never ends up coming. So I'm going into it. So we only have 2 games, Kind versus Vetral and Vetral versus Sub Zero. So Vetral is kind of playing that back to back, which I'm pretty sure they like because I think they come in on the Saturday, they drive in the
Yeah,
Saturday, they play 2 games, and they kind of can do whatever they want
get it all done.
after.
Yep,
It seems like their
exactly.
schedule's like that for the next. I think they play back to back in most situations, so they do that. This week they do it week 9, they do week 10. So I think that's how they built their schedule, which is pretty cool that we're able to do that for them. So they don't have to play a game at, let's say, Saturday, the game on Sunday. No, so they're in and they're out. So it's pretty cool. But again, tough challenge for them. They got Cayenne, they got Sub Zero. So before they had Sub Zero, they have Matrix. So kind of switch rule with Cayenne and Matrix. Hopefully they can score more
Yeah,
than 6 points, and they just get better every week. So game of the week,
sure,
I'll take
sure.
Cayenne and Veteran, and you could take Veteran and Sub Zero.
It's Sub-Zero, very, yeah, exactly.
Cool.
I'll be there to watch both games. I'll be there Saturday, so I'll give an update
There
next
you
time
go.
around this week.
Let's go.
Three.
So women's 1 is done. 2, 3. Let's go co-ed 3.
Co-ed 3, looking at it right here. So we had 5 games last week. Couple blowouts. Flamingos beating Sax Appeal 37-0. We had Shaquille Oatmeal beating Hot Dogs 42-7. Then some close ones, some like down to like the last minute or so, our last player or so. Pick Artist losing 16-14 to Stekip La. Les Vieux Nous beating You Touch It, You Catch It 27-26, and Dream Killers beating Padawans 33-26.
Yeah, so we had some good games. My game of the week was Dream Killers versus Pad Dogs.
Ones. Yeah.
Um, yeah, Padawans. Yeah, both. I'm sorry, I was looking at my notes. Both undefeated teams were undefeated. The fact that Dream Killers got that win 33-26. Again, you could check on our Instagram. We have a little highlights of that game. A couple of touchdowns thrown for both teams, some defensive stops. So it's pretty cool to see. We were able to film 2 teams that are undefeated to see who right now is the top co-ed 3 team. So that was that, and then a big upset, not upset, but pick artist lose versus
Yeah. Yeah.
Sitkibla. So Sitkibla gets the win. They move into the 11th seed, being 2-2, and pick artists dropped their first game, going down to 3-1. So big, again, big 2 games that did happen. There were more than 2 big games, but 2 games that again that kind of caught my eye. I was curious to see if Dream Killers were able to keep up that the perfect record run, which they could, which they can, which they did. Sorry, that the fact that they're 5-0, and then Pick Artists dropped their first game of the season, going into 3-1, and then Sat Kipla ends up avoiding going to the bottom of the barrel and staying in the middle of the pack, being 2-2 right now.
Yeah. So honestly, I was going to pick the pick artist loss against the Keeps loss. My pick for game of the week. I like the fact. So I was looking at the play by play for this game. So I like the fact that um Stakip La pretty much. Well, I want to say defensive stat. I mean, they got the ball. So Pickard just got a touchdown with about 10 plays left to make it a 2 point game. They went for the 2 point conversion, and didn't get it. But then, so it's to keep lot. It's still a lot of time left in the game. They had to kill. Looking at one, two, three. They did kill a couple of plays right off the clock, and they had about a 9 play drive. And again, like they gave up 2 sacks at the end, so that's they were kind of them taking a knee. But we can see like it's the keep lot, like the fact that they didn't turn over the ball. It's crunch time, right? So like. I don't know if you ever heard the saying in sports, especially in football, like you have to learn how to win.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes to do that, you have to lose, right? So the fact that pick artists, they were trying to get the ball back. They were trying to jump some of the routes by Stakip Law. Stakip Law managed somehow not to turn over the ball. I'll give them the credit again. 16-14 game, defensive slugfest. Stakip Law getting the win. That was my pick for that's what stood out to me most, I should say, from last week.
Hmm. Okay, I see. Also, Sal Sacapero still struggling. No points scored this week, and then Hot Dogs only scoring 7 points. Also, Hot Dogs is a young team. I'm looking at the names.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
It's a young roster. I have Jonathan Laundry, Matthew Laundry. So both of those guys went to the school that I coach at. Matthew Laundry is actually one of my students now that I
Nice,
coach. So
nice.
yeah, struggling team. They're probably going to struggle for most of the season, but again, they're getting the practice in, so that's all that matters.
I
Going to
agree.
this week, you have going to the week we have 3, 6, we have 8 games. So lots of
Yeah.
games, lots of actions. My game of the week is going to be. I just want to see something with Fatties. Fatties is 1-4. No. Tell me your game of the week, and then I'll go back to mine if you have one.
Sure. Okay, so I have Shaquille O'Neal, winners of three of the last four, taking on Hail Mary Poppins. So Hail Mary Poppins comes into this game. So they're struggling a bit. So I well no, they've actually won. So my apologies. They won two out of the last three Hail Mary Poppins. So uh two teams that are playing some decent football right now. Like I said, 3 out of 4 for Shaquille O'Neal and 2 out of 3 for Hail Mary Poppins. So two teams playing some good football right now, looking to build on their recent wins. And again, two teams who I like their names a lot. So that's also a reason why I'm picking them.
Okay. I'm gonna with you touch it, you catch it versus Shakira 2.0. You got
Nice.
a 2-2 team that's kind of right in the middle, 66 points for, 65 points against. So they're literally right in the middle right now. Only allowing only 16.5 points a game, 17 points a game. Same thing going offense. So we call those people right in the middle. So offense is not the best, defense not the best, but it's not the worst,
Yeah.
and we're right in the middle. And then they're playing Shakira 2.0 right now. Probably one of the best defenses, other than Shadow. Probably one of the best defenses. They played 4 games, only allowed 45 points, so that's about 11.5 points a game. And offense, they're scoring 28. I want to say 20 times 4 is 112. So, yeah, around like that, 27.5 ish. My math is off. Yeah, 27.5. That's how many points they're scoring per game. So 28 and only allowing a 12. So it's gonna be nice to see a team that's kind of between the middle and a team that's kind of over the top. Uh, we're gonna see if you touch a catch, you can score more than uh, 2, 3 touchdowns and kind of beat the average of Shakir is gonna do, and if they're able to stop the powerhouse of Shakir's offense and only allow them to score about 18 points with their kind of their averages. So it's gonna be nice to see if the averages actually mean something here, or it's literally just on the team that you play against. And I like to go by averages to see if it actually matters, if it actually does something. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. You never know. Maybe Shakir is going to beat these guys 40-10, and then I'm like, oh well, I don't know anything. And then sometimes it's going to be a game where Shakir maybe they score their average, but you touch it also scores their average too. So, anyways, that's my game of the week. A lot of talking, a lot of rumbling, but that's the game of the week.
All right, cool.
Uh,
Nice.
co-ed 2.
So I already have my pick for game of the week for Koi too, but we'll look from the past week there. Last week there was four games in Kuwait 2. Block Party blew out McNuggies 48-6. Easy Fun just got past Lee Woos 31-24. Mavericks beat the Injury Reserves 26-12. And then All Day Every Day had a smackdown on Party Mix 25-6 this past Monday at Steadyware.
Yeah, so my game of the week was McNuggies versus Block Party.
Yeah.
Blowout. Block Party is a Block Party. They're the real deal, you know. I thought it was gonna be closer than that, but clearly I was wrong. Easy Fun gets a nice win there. It's good for them. I got to see the all day, every day versus Party Mix. Two
Okay.
teams, I believe they haven't had any wins. I think that was their first win. Yeah, but sorry, Party Mix has a win. All day, every day gets their first win this season. So good for them. For them, Party Mix is struggling though. They played 4 games. They've only scored 38 points. That means they're scoring about 10 points per game on 9.5 per game. So they're definitely gonna have to try to make a push here. Easy Fun, as I said, they got their first win, so good for them. Look at the playoff standings. 5 teams are not making these playoffs. You know, so we have some teams that are struggling. Like McNuggies are struggling. Shark Attack is struggling. Tea Party struggling. Party Mix is struggling all day, every day. Is struggling. They do get their first win, but it's against a team that's literally struggling. Injury Reserve just got a loss too. They're also struggling. So a lot of teams are struggling. So it's a good thing. The fact that all these teams are struggling because you have a lot of everyone has a win. So everyone has at least one win. So it's a point when you get that second or third win, that's when you start jumping up the standings. So it's gonna be kind of interesting to see. We still have 2 teams that are undefeated. We thought they were Snacks and Venom. I said it before. I think Venom is going to be my dark horse going into the season. I talked about it before. Paul Lapierre did a great job on his roster. He has a great offense. Him as quarterback is too. He has good weapons. His defense, I think they're just going to get better every week. They are a young team, but again, practice makes perfect, and I think they are probably going to be the team that I have. Well, not probably. They are the team that I have winning the championship for Co-ed 2 this year.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. I mean, listen, they're definitely a favorite. I think before it's all said and done, some other teams will have a say for sure, but then definitely right now, right? They've proven it to, I think, without a shadow of a doubt, right now to be like the best team in the division. We'll have to see how it all shakes out at the end, but yeah, right now they're one of the top teams for sure.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, who was your game of the week? Or you didn't say it, right? You didn't say your game. Who
No,
was your
I have okay, so for my oops, sorry, closed that window by mistake. So for my game in the week, I have the Mavericks. So the Mavericks are taking us led by Xavier Couture. They're taking on Michael Scott's Tots this Saturday, 7 p.m. in Brassard. So my main man, Kenny Batulia and his squad again taking on Xavier and his team. So two quarterbacks who can run. Now Xavier, he wants to get all the passing records, so he doesn't run as much as he used to, but he can. Don't let him fool you. He can run. Um, again, so you have Ashley Longang and former guest on the show. There's a lot of players on this team for speaking of the Mavericks, right? So Ashley Longang, Chloe Samard used to play for the Cavs, right? So Champlain. So they have some players, and so Gino DeFazio incorporated is part of the teams. I'm sorry, coughing. Uh, like if we mentioned him last year, Jake Roberts, come little Jake the Snake, he's good. Sorry, Ethan Villanozzi. I've seen this kid play. Dylan Roberts, Diego. Like these kids can play. They're fast, obviously. So you go to the other side, right? You look at Michael Scott's Tots, right? You have Kenny, you have Zach, right? Zach Erber's good, so he'll be trying to get chasing Xavier the whole game. That's actually going to be an interesting matchup. And David DeAndrade. So David, a veteran player in this league, along with Alexi Dubois, everybody's favorite Alexi. Um, those are two defensive guys. Like their specialty in FPF is defense. So you're gonna see a lot of fast kids going against two guys that are veterans and know how to play some defense. Erica Dubois, Alexi's sister, the much more favored Dubois out of the two. Shout out to her. great player. She can play anywhere on the field. So I'm going to be interested to see again a veteran squad from Michael Scott's Tots going against these young Mavericks team. So that's going to be my pick for game of the week.
Okay, nice. Um, I'm gonna go with no pads, no helmets versus Easy Fun. Easy Fun got their first win in the season, so it's gonna be interesting if they're able to use that
Yeah.
momentum to get a next win. They're gonna have a hard time with Francis Cachelot and his no
Yep.
pads, no helmets, just balls team, especially with his legs. It's frustrating sometimes when you're a rusher and you have to kind of queue up to him because he is fast. And it's to a point where 10 yards is not that hard to do. So he definitely probably could run
True.
every second play and get first downs. But I feel like he kind of wants to use his arm. So I feel like that matchup's going to be interesting to see. No pads or helmets could go into if give no pads or helmet get it to get to it. Sorry, long game. If no pads, no helmets, just balls are able to get another win and move into 4-1, or if Easy Fun could spoil the party and get themselves extra win, so they could go into 2-3 with Jean Christopher Ferland at quarterback because we don't have Jeremy Way anymore as the quarterback. He's taken the throne and he's a new guy. So should be a good matchup. Should be a good game. I mean, I won't be surprised if no pads destroy them, but I also won't be surprised if Easy Fun kind of keeps up there as they did against Mixology um, in week 2 where they lost 31-26. So they definitely could get an upset if they need it, and they also definitely could get blown out as well too. So it's gonna be interesting to see what type of Easy Fun team that we're gonna see for this week.
It's always fun. You always have those. It can end either way kind of games. It could be either a really close game, like the Super Bowl, people thought, or a blowout, like which the Super Bowl was. And yeah, it's always interesting to see it. And like you said, with so you said Dimitri Morans, right? Who you're talking about?
Sorry,
The name you said at quarterback? I couldn't hear you.
Jean Christopher Ferland.
Yeah, Furlan. Okay, yeah, John Christopher Furlan. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, taking over for Jeremy Way. Yeah. Hey, for Furlan, I mean, he's a good dude, man. He's an athlete. Like, he's one of those
Yeah,
guys you can put him anywhere on the field and he'll make a play.
exactly. And he won't
Yeah,
complain. He'll just try to do his job, and he's good. He's there for a good time. He's one of
exactly,
those.
exactly.
He's a hybrid player. Those are the guys that you want. They say, but they're able. You could put them everywhere. It's always good to have a player like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I tried
Uh,
to get in my team this past summer. We both thought we came to an agreement, and the last second he ended up wanting to play Terrebonne. I'm gonna try again this coming summer. Quarterback, rusher, snapper, receiver. I don't think I've ever seen him play defensive back, but I'm sure he can. He's just that
yeah,
good.
for sure.
Yeah,
Code one. Let's get to code one.
it's up to it.
Code one. So we had a few games. Code one. The game I kind of wanted to see the most was the IG team versus the Silly Geese. So
Yep, yep, yep.
that game was my game of the week. Silly Geese takes the win 34-31. I talked to Emma about the game. Said they didn't play. They didn't play so good. They were down 25-14, but they had a great second half. Kevin Wyeth went 21 for 28 for 230, 223 with 5 touchdowns. So way better second half for him. We kind of talked about this roster. This roster is kind of disgusting. The fact that they added Emerson on it as well, you kind of have a lot of you have a lot of mismatches most of the time. Again, the IG team had a great first half. They scored 25, and the second half they only scored 6. So Jean
Yeah,
Lee
yeah.
started off hot, and then second half kind of didn't do so well. We had Samuel, aka Gucci. He scored 5 touchdowns. So shout out to him scoring 5 touchdowns and going over the 100 mark as well. They were just a bit shy on the game. If they had a better second half, they definitely would have won the game. So it's going to be interesting to see these teams play again. From what I believe, um, going just back to it, looking kind of at the stats, uh, Siligi scored in the last, I want to say, maybe minute. It seems like Rochelle got a passing touchdown from Kevin Wyatt for 1 yard. They go for the extra 2 points where it didn't really matter as much, take a 3 point lead. John Lee, incomplete pass. 11-yard catch, and then incomplete pass. So they didn't have much time. Three incomplete passes, one complete passes. They probably had less than 30 seconds to kind of try to get a last winning drive. So shout out to the Geese, down by 11 going into the second half and getting the win. And then shout out for IG team as well too. You guys did a great job on a great City Geese defense. You gotta finish at the end of the day.
Yeah, sure. That's exactly what it is. You got to finish 100%. For me, my pick was Fit Squad getting their first W of the year. They knocked off Plenty of Fish 38-24. Will Brouillard, 5 TD passes in the game. So give a shout out to Darius Lattimore. Darius Lattimore, 3 catches, 38 yards, and a tutty. It's not bad. But then he turned around and had 3 picks on defense and ran one of them back to the house for a score. So that's he played a big role in his team's win, to say the least. They picked off Maule 3 times. So a big game for the Fit Squad defense. And again, they got off the schneid getting their first W of the season, putting their
It's
record
nice.
now at 1-2.
It's always nice to get a first W of the season. It's a long season. Plenty of Fish is still looking for their first W as well. Same thing
IG
for
team as
IG
well, yeah.
team. You had Les Gars de Touk beating
Yep.
Lego My Flag as well too. So I think that's their
Yeah,
first
yeah,
win of
yeah.
the
You're right.
season. So we had a couple teams that got their first win of the season. Big game for them. I'm sure they wanted to win. They got a win. Kind of looking at the stat sheet here. If it pops up, it's not popping up, but final score was 36-33. So again, a high scoring game from both teams. Jeff Rosenblatt went 19 for 26, 202 yards, 5 touchdowns, and Alex went 19 for 28, 202, and 6 touchdowns. No INT, so no one really to blame. Sanders, 6 catches, 77 yards, 1 touchdown, and then you had Giovanni that had 6 catches, 84 yards, 1 touchdown, and Eric had 3 touchdowns as well too. So some good stat lines both team. Paul Lapierre had 2 touchdowns. So a big scoring game. Defensive wide, um, nothing crazy with these teams, but yeah, it was good.
All right.
Good game.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. And we don't have to wait long for a rematch, right? I mean, these two teams are going to be doing battle
On
again
15.
this Sunday. Yeah, this Sunday at Steady Bear.
Yeah.
So short turnaround is basically uh we have about 5 days between games, so 4 really, I guess you could say. But anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see the rematch, obviously. So the bitter taste in the mouth for Lego My Flag. Um, losing that first game. Shout out to Gabrielle Poisson. So she used to be with the IG team years ago. She's I say redhead. She's orange hair. She's one of the toughest girls I've seen in FPF. Period. Like she's one of those players who she can get her foot stepped on by a cleat. She could get hit down, whatever, diving to make tackles, diving to make catches, and she pops back up. I've seen her play a lot of games in like a ton of pain, but she doesn't quit. So I always like to see that. And I like to squad you. So you talked about Giovanni Antonacci. He's a great player. He plays actually as well with he did last season with Kenny Between and those guys. Michael Scott's Toss. He's an underrated player. Eric Nams, who you talked about as well, another underrated player on this team, and obviously led by Alex Zalewski, one of the top emerging quarterbacks in all of an FPF. So seeing him against Rosenblatt again, Alex had the edge, 6 touchdown passes to Jeff's 5. Obviously, guys like Sanders and Paul and those guys, Lara, Uzuka, Ray Maya as well. Like it's gonna leave Adam Malinov gonna leave a bitter taste in their mouths. Can they rebound now just a couple of days later and avenge that loss? We're gonna see this
Mm-hmm.
again this Sunday.
Should be interesting to see if I won't like again. I won't be surprised if Lego wins, and I won't be surprised if Lego
Yeah, yeah.
wins. I'd be surprised if a team gets blown out, though. I'll definitely be surprised in that. I don't think any of these teams should get blown out.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see a blowout, but I think it's honestly it's gonna come down to the wire again, to be honest with you. I mean, I could be wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but that's what I'm feeling right now, at least.
I guess is that your game of the week?
Yeah, it's my game of the week for sure, 100%.
Okay. That's your game of the week. I'm gonna take the IG team versus the Merge. I think that
Yep.
should be a good game.
Good matchup.
Okay, so co-ed's done. Let's go to let's go to
Yeah, five v
Coed
five.
5v5. Yeah.
Yeah. So two games last week. Flagmont the Qua beat Airbuds 26-19, and then Spicy Braves knocked off Flagmont the Qua, who played 2 days later, 39-36, a Statty Bear. So obviously, I mean, I'll ask you about your Airbuds, your loss there to Flagmont the Qua.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. We played good. Defense played well. Jeff just took a really bad safety. That kind of put us in a weird situation. We should have went into the half being up by. We should have went into the half. Wait, sorry, I'm looking for the thing. I think we went down. I think we went into the half being down 20-12.
You guys are down 16-7.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, 16-7. So pretty much it was a turnaround. They got a safety. They got 2 points. Then they scored a touchdown. And did they? I'm not sure if they got a convert, but it was an 8 point swing where we got a stop on defense. Yeah, we got a stop on defense, and I believe it was 7 to yeah, it was 7-6. It was 7-6. We got a stop on defense. Jeff took a safety, so it was 7-8. They scored. They got a 2 point convert, and I believe it was 7-16. So that didn't help because again, it was a big swing. It's to the point where if Jeff doesn't take that safety, we drive. I think we do score. I think we go up 13-6 with the ball in the second half. So instead, it was completely different. We got the ball second half. We scored. We ended up getting a stop. Then we ended up scoring again. A lot of calls. I think we had one drive where it lasted like 10 minutes because there were so many defensive pass interference and stuff like that, holding. So it was a long drive. We ended up scoring. Flagmont drove down the draw. We ended up scoring 1 for 2. That got picked off by Francis Cachelot. Ended up bringing it back. They went up by. No, sorry, we were up by one. I want to say so. It was a 1 point game, and they ended up driving down. They ended up scoring, um, getting a 1 point converse. They ended up going up by 7. We got back the ball, and we just couldn't punch it in. Um, we had the opportunity. We had a couple drops, but we played well. Just the safety kind of killed us. But it was to a point where when we played Flagmont week 1, they kind of took it to us where we didn't feel like we were in the game. Uh, this time we were we did so much better. And we felt like we should have won that game. So moving forward, at least we know as a team that we could compete with them. And if someone doesn't take a really bad safety, I think the game is completely different. I think we do end up we do end up winning.
So I gotta ask you, was that safety whacker than like a defensive back jumping on your back and trying to tackle you, or
The safety's worse because it's 5v5 and you could throw the ball anywhere you want. Like
yeah,
there's no grounding. So
yeah,
it's to
no,
a
I know
point
in
where if
terms of
someone
grounding
gets close,
exactly.
you could throw the ball across the field if you want. Like
Hmm.
there's no reason to there's no reason to get sacked. And it was first. The thing that's crazy was it was the first play going into our stop. So we got the stop, we got the offense gets the ball, and the first play is a safety.
We're right back. Yeah,
Yeah, you give it right back. Like do you know
yeah.
how it's like when you get an interception and then your quarterback goes back and throws an interception.
It
Like
was a
the
horrible.
same
Yeah,
feeling,
exactly. Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's so much worse
yeah.
because a safety
It's
you're giving the team that's struggling on offense an extra 2 points. You know?
it's the Jimmy Garoppolo, it's the Jimmy G experience.
Yeah,
Defense
exactly.
gets a stop, gives it right back to the Jimmy
He's
G.
like, I don't want. He's like, what's this? I don't want this. And then Breezewell got kicked out. Sorry.
That's you.
Thank you. Breezewell got kicked off for 10 plays as well too. So that did
He
not
was that
help
mad
us.
at Jeff. He was that mad at the safety. He got kicked off for 10 plays.
No. He was mad at something
I'm
else.
joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
But
Yeah.
that's okay. Well, Jeff, yeah, anyways, Jeff knew he was kind of frustrated about it, but again, the good thing about our game is that we know that we're able to compete. So it's better than the first week where we felt like they just kind of took it to us. Where compared to this week, we kind of felt way more comfortable. Going at the end of the game, we felt like we lost, but it felt like we won.
Okay, I mean, yeah, okay, that happens sometimes. That happens. Let's put a little context so people are wondering why I said about a defensive back jumping on someone's back. I won't throw any names, but I know Quaysie said in that meeting there was a defensive back who kind of tried to tackle him in the, in the insole. It
Yeah.
didn't end up so well for that defensive back.
No.
I don't know if you want to elaborate, but that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to throw people under
Yeah.
the
No.
bus,
It's
but
just it is what it is. It happens. It's just funny situation. Um.
all right.
So we also my game of the week was Spicy Braves versus FlagPlus. Coming
Yeah,
into this season, I felt like they were the top two teams. I feel like we were going to get a shootout, which we got a shootout. Joe Meyer, one of the top quarterbacks in 5v5 men's and 6v6. He kind of is the quarterback there. And then you had Alex Nato Pease as well, one of the top quarterbacks in 6v6 and 5v5. So two juggernauts going at each other as quarterback. Alex threw for way more yards than Joe, 100 more, and actually one more touchdown. So I don't understand how Flagmont lost this game unless it was converts, because Alex, is there a pick six? No, Alex threw what? Alex threw for one more touchdown than Joe. Oh, JD threw a touchdown. Okay, they probably had like a trick play or something like that. Okay, never mind. Both teams threw for six touchdowns, but Joe threw for INT. So converts. I'm guessing Flag Moi had no converts. Yeah, exactly. So Flag Moi had no converts, and Spicy Braves had two converts, one for two, one for one. So that's the reason why this game ended 39-36, because Braves got three extra points in converts. So it just goes to show that converts do mean a lot, and you have to realize that every point counts. So when you score a touchdown, make sure you guys have a good convert, because it come down to it where you guys do lose a game because you guys get no converts and the other team gets converts.
there you go. All right. For my game of the week, I'm gonna pick AT ATs and dummies. Pardon me. Taking on Maple Syrup. That's taking place this Saturday, so Valentine's night at 6 p.m. in Broussard. AT and dummies. They've won three out of their last four games, coming
Yeah,
off a
they're hot
big
right
win.
now.
Well, yeah, yeah. They knocked off. Well, they beat Team Rocket by 22 Sundays ago. Switching sides, looking at Maple Syrup. So Maple Syrup right now, they're coming off of a loss, a tough one, 40-37 to the Spicy Braves, but they beat AT and dummies back on January 31st. So second matchup and final matchup of the regular season, I believe, between these two squads. So this should be a good one. Maple Syrup also has a win over Team Rocket. So Maple Syrup's won two out of three, and like I said, three out of four for AT and dummies.
That should be a good game. Um, two good quarterbacks at it. I think Sarah Parker's getting a better feeling playing
Yeah,
5v5 co-ed. Her first game didn't go so well. They played us. Then they had a great game versus Nice to Meet You. Then they played versus Guttum, had a good game. Maple Syrup, a little struggle there, and then she came back with a 47 piece versus Team Rocket. So I think she's getting a bit better. Again, probably one of the top three females in Canada as a quarterback. Right now, right
sure.
now she is the Team Canada quarterback. So it's nice to kind of see her playing co-ed 5v5. Again, shit ton of athletes that are playing in this division, female and male. So I think this is probably one of the craziest co-ed divisions you kind of ask for. But that matchup between ATs and dummies should be really good. Also, maple syrup is kind of funny. I think we talked about them a bit, but it's kind of nice to see both the Surge brothers back. I think maybe we
Yeah,
talked
yeah,
about it a
right. But
bit.
Pilon Brothers, yep.
Yeah, the Pilon
Yep.
brothers. People, and they have a other brother too. So they have the three brothers,
Right. Yep. Yep.
and then you have the combo of Coralie and Mark, and then you got the other combo of Jasmine and Lori. So uh, top to bottom, this team is pretty damn good. Uh, to look at, defense is solid, offense is solid. Looks like it's only a seven-man team. So, but the seven people they do have a lot of firepower. Before you look at it, you
Oh
have
yeah.
Surge. You have
Oh
both
yeah.
Surge to literally take. take it to the house. You have Jasmine, great defender. You have Lori, more of a two-way player, good on offense, good on defense. Same thing with Coralie,
Yep.
great defender as well. Nick, I don't really know him as much. I played him a long time ago, back when we were like 16, 17. He was also a quarterback, but I'm sure the fact that he has to be decent enough. The fact that both his, I guess
Pilon. I mean, he can't be that bad. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I think he's good enough to be playing in this division. And if he's not, I mean, his brothers make it up for him. The fact that they're both there too, it was always a thing to watch both the Serge Pion brothers play for each other. Is to a point where one of them stopped playing for a bit.
Yeah,
Um,
Alex stopped playing for a bit.
yeah, Alex stopped playing a bit, so it's kind of nice to see him there, and he has his twin brother backing him up again. So it's like we're back in like 2020, I want to say, where you got to see them both play with each other on the same team. So we kind of get to see it again.
It's fun, like watching them play together. I've seen them play against each other as well. I remember calling a game. It was contraband, so it was a Dan Lazara's team with AJ and them guys, and they were playing either the Braves or or not the finest. It's Kevin Wyeth's team.
Well,
I think it
there's
was
a
against.
point where they both Pinos played for the Braves at one point, and they both also
Yeah,
played for Kevin Wyeth, or one of them played. I
yeah,
think I think Serge played for one. They one played for Braves, one played for Kevin Wyeth.
yeah. Exactly. So that's
That's
what I'm saying.
when
Yeah,
they
yeah. So yeah,
that's when they
it was
played
yeah.
against each other. They also,
It
it's
was
funny. They also it was to a point where like they kind of hit each other. They were both defending each other, and they kind of hit each other at one point. I was kind of
okay.
laughing at
So yeah, it was contraband and Braves. I remember it was we had just come back from COVID, and Rob had put the finals in Lachine. So this tells you it's a while ago now, right? And the last play of the game, it was either Alex Pilon was playing for the Braves and Serge was playing for Contraband. I think that's what it was. And Serge beat Alex for the game-winning touchdown on like I think the last play or the second to last play of the game on a go route.
that.
And I remember that I think that was the first championship with AJ and Dan together. And they obviously had some fans come out. The whole place exploded, and it was just. I remember that game. Mike Pierce had, I think he broke his foot or his ankle playing tackle. I think a day or two earlier. So I remember talking to. 'Cause I was reading the articles for that division. I remember talking to him. Yeah, you're gonna play. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play a big game. He didn't tell me. I had no idea he was hurt. But so he was hurt. I know Tam was there. So that's just the first time I had talked to Tam.
Yeah, Tam got
He
hurt too. Tam broke his arm playing
exactly,
tackle.
exactly, yeah. And then so they're like, well, they only beat us because of this. Man, whatever. That's a great game to call. The Pilon brothers on opposite sides going head to head. It's always a cool thing to see.
Yeah, that's when you had the fans right on the field. That's
Exactly.
what
There you
nice
go.
about
There
it,
you
the
go.
fans right on the field. But no, it was great. Great times in Lachine. Great times in
Most
Lachine.
definitely. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So I think that's it for 5v5. Let's go to intermediate 5v5.
So then we had 3 games this past week for intermediate. So football Quebec U16 big win over Les Benchwarmers 47-32. That was last Saturday in Brassard. This past Monday in Saint Laurent, I actually score kept this game. Green Monster knocking off Les Benchwarmers 20-13. That was like a defensive slugfest where just teams were just like uh, not getting the first down, or they would get the first down, just couldn't push it into the end zone. A lot of turnover on downs, like a Green Monster pulling away at the end. Let me just check. I can't remember who got the game winning score in that game. Like I said, they score kept it, but I mean that's all the way on Monday. Uh, so game winning touchdown was scored, yeah, by uh Levele. So Jason DeSouza is the quarterback. Levy, I'm just trying to get his first name. He scored a game winning 5 yard touchdown with about I want to say 3 plays left. Um, so I'm just trying to get the guy's first name. My apologies here. It was yeah, here it is here. It was so Nicholson Levele again gave any touchdown on that one. There were some drops, there were some missed throws, but again, two athletic teams. I like late bench warmers. It's a deep squad. I think some of those guys have played tackle. These guys are all it's a bunch of guys who all kind of look the same to a degree, but they're all kind of like long-ish guys who are athletic and fast. So I think the more experience these guys get, they're going to be a team that should be climbing divisions, at least in 5-on-5. They were like 10 guys in a 5-on-5 team. So it's like that's a little too much, but it is what it is. You want to make the price cheaper, you want to make the price cheaper. It's fine.
Yeah, or you have
I
a
think
lot of
there's a
friends
team to
too,
look out for.
as well too.
Sorry.
Yeah, but you can have a lot of friends as well too, and you're just kind of like,
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah,
let's
yeah,
all
yeah.
play here, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, in the final game, Red Zone beat the Hungry Hippos 27-20. That was also Monday, but that game was at Statty Bear. Um, Looking over quickly the stats here. Two touchdowns for Nicolas Chavret. And yeah, defense kind of came, did their thing, and yeah, it's a big win. So yeah, Marvin Renault obviously usually plays well playing with Marc Andre Reeves. Usually they play together on the merger now, obviously playing now with Red Zone. So two touchdowns for the big man, Marvin. Marc Andre Reeves, three touchdowns, but again, they fell. No, sorry, they won, pardon me, at 27-20 over the Hungry Hippos.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know, what was your game of the week?
My game of the week for 5v5, it was Red Zones versus Hungry Hippos. So again, that game ended 27-20. So again, a close game. It gave. Just gonna go here. It gave Red Zone their first win of the season. I want to say. Am I crazy? Yeah, it gave Red Zone their first win of the season. So that's good for them. It means everybody's won a game except for the bench warpers. Hopefully, they're able to get that win soon. But yeah, I was expecting Red Zone. They've been struggling a bit too much here. Expecting them to get a win. They finally got a win. You have Mark as the quarterback there. So it kind of looks like they're this team. Um, I mean, at Mark as quarterback, I think they should be fine. He's just gonna have to adapt to 5v5. He's getting the um, the practice in with his maple syrup team as well too. I think he's playing quarterback like on four teams. I think he plays for one. He plays for Coed one. Then he
Div
plays
two,
for Coed two. No, Coed one, 5v5,
Div two.
Division two, and then this. So he's playing quarterback for four times. So he's getting the reps. 5v5 is a bit
Oh,
different than 6v6.
yeah.
But again, I think there should be fine. I think this is probably the one team that they are 1-2, but I think they should end up being positive by the end of the year.
All right. What's your game of the week this week?
This week it's going to be Team Quebec U18 versus Flag Vengers.
Same here.
We have
Okay.
two teams that are 3-0 and 5-0. So it's going to be nice to see. It's going to be interesting to see Isaiah rushing the quarterback for Team Quebec. Isaiah's tall, so he does take away a lot of the field. You're not Matthew Cooper there as the quarterback. He's good with his legs. They have good play calling, but I don't think they ever had someone rush as tall as him. So a lot of that field, a lot of those digs, a lot of those 10 in, 15 ins are not going to be there. So hopefully, Flag Vengers take advantage of that and play more of the outside, so he doesn't feel as comfortable making those throws on the outside. He just and the middle shouldn't be there in general. So I think that's going to be a very good matchup to see.
All right. I'm actually going to pick the same matchup just for the sake that I mentioned earlier, a podcast earlier this season. I scored kept Flag Avengers against Quebec, Team Quebec U16. I mentioned a lot of those kids on U16. They can ball. They're fast. They're quick. Some guys with some good hands. They had a couple blown coverages. That's stuff that, I mean, these guys are like 16 years old or under 16, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna see this team that's under 18, they're 2 years older, right? And this U16 team couldn't necessarily stay up with some of the guys we saw for with Flag Avengers, right? So I'm talking about obviously Xavier Couture, right, as a quarterback. But they also had guys like Isaiah Lard, like you talked about. Mikael Gay. Mikael Gay is one of those guys. He's not a big name in FPF, but he subbed on my team a couple years ago, and this guy, I said this guy's good, and I saw him play. He made some plays. Michael Kuwait in that game had some plays. Where he had 127 yards, two touchdowns. So it's like now they're playing against kids who are closer to their age, kids who are like about to be 18. I think against the U16 team, they won 58-25. I don't think it's going to be such a lopsided game against the U18 team. Again, these kids are going to be bigger, faster and ideally smarter than the U16 team. So I think Flag Avengers will be in for a bit tougher of a match this time around on Saturday in Broussard.
Yeah, for sure. That's probably one of the disadvantage you do get when you play versus a older group. It's just they're more athletic than you because you're just not at that stage yet. But I think the guys from U18 are just one step higher, so I think it should be a bigger difference when it comes to a certain amount of certain things, breaking on routes, making a tackle, making a defending a ball. So I think I completely agree with you with your saying.
Yeah. So let's go to 5v5 competitive final division here on this episode. Let's wrap it up. So 5v5 comp, we have in terms of matchups this week. Pardon me. So we have my computer can show up. So four matchups this week. KGP Elite, Raw Dog, Saturday, Bassard, Sunday, Shadagi, KGP Elite again against Blue Dry 10.1. Also on Sunday, Sadie Bear, No Regard, taking on the Proxin. And then Monday night at Stade de Soccer, so at Papineau. Oh, sorry, yeah, at Papineau. Party Crashers against Montreal Magic. This past week, we had three games. We had KGP Elite beating No Regard 41-20. Party Crashers beating the Braves. Again, I talked about that game earlier, 33-18. The Braves did not have Joe Mahio, though, in that game. And KGP Elite, another 41 burger, this time beating the Proxin 41-36 this past Monday at Stade de Soccer.
Yeah, so KGB is back. They're the one team that didn't have any games played yet, so they start their season off 2-0. Kind of you were saying, Party Crashers not destroyed the Braves, but again they did some work on them. You had William Tutsi as quarterback, so it's not John Mayer, but at the end of the day, he's on a bad quarterback. They had pretty much everybody else. They also had the addition of Jerry Murphy, so they're missing
Yeah,
Gab
yeah,
Champagne and Joe Meyer, but they added Jerry Murphy. So I mean,
yeah.
it's a loss and a gain at the same time. It's going to be interesting to see them at both. Well, it's going to be interesting to see both these teams at full rosters, and they played when they play versus each other. Again, I do, as we kind of were saying, I think Party Crasher has the best defense, so it's going to be nice to see a full-on Braves roster versus a full-on Party Crashers roster as well. It's going to be a powerhouse defense versus powerhouse offense, so it's also nice to see um, pretty much the best of the best going at it. Moving forward for the next for this following week coming up, Party Crashers versus MTL Magic. That should be a good matchup. MTL Magic, it's been quiet. We haven't really talked about them that much. Um, they had the absence of AJ Gomez that he hasn't been back since. They added David Polinis. He's played
Polonius,
back.
yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he
He's good.
played back in the day with
Go.
yeah, he played McGill, but I'm saying for Flag. He
Oh
played
man.
with Chamonix. I forgot the name. They used to wear mask. Um,
Okay, yeah, yeah. I know the team. I forget the name of the team, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah, yeah,
they used to wear
yeah.
masks in their pictures. So that's like back in the day for the people that are listening. This is like 2018, 19, where they had a rusher. He was like 10 feet tall. He made Isaiah look small. But so they added him on the roster, which is a good add-on. Great player. Um, yeah, so they don't have AJ has him in there. They added David to kind of help. Justin McLean is back as well. Isaiah is also back too. Isaiah made the switch from the Braves to Montreal Magic, so that's kind of be interesting to see um, how much effect he could do, and the fact that Braves do not have Isaiah Alert anymore. So it's gonna be interesting to see Party Crashers versus Montreal Magic, and then you have the also the switch with Jean Slee. He's no longer a Montreal Magic as well either. Right now he's playing. He's the quarterback at for Party Crashers. So we have a lot of switching here and there. You had Jean Slee
Yep,
going
yep.
to Party Crashers. You had Isaiah going from Braves to Montreal Magic. You have Jerry Murphy back now, so a little bit of drama here and there. So it's going to be interesting to see how these teams do when they do end up playing versus their former teams.
Oh yeah. So for me, well, hey, you kind of
And
talked
then
about the team.
yeah, so my game of the week is Party Crashers versus Montreal Magic.
Yeah, I was gonna pick the same thing. There's a guy I saw Monday night. I hadn't seen him before in FPF. He's a Concordia receiver. Mama D Kaba, I believe his name is. Let me just double check here. Yeah, yeah, Mama D Kaba. I he's he, so when you say this guy is long, you talk about party crashers. You have a lot of guys that are long. This guy is long. He's a receiver. He was just going up. I saw him pregame. He was making one-handed catches in the end zone on like 9 routes. He's just literally putting one hand up in the air and coming down with the ball with ease. It's not even as if, oh, he might drop it or he kind of bobbled or looked like unnatural. No, he was just put his hand up, came down with the ball, easy breezy, kept on, ran back to the line, ran back to the line of scrimmage to do another route again pregame. And when the game started, he was just making catch after catch. He had 4 catches, 73 yards, I believe, and a touchdown. But he was snatching balls out of the air. His route running was near pristine, a lot of size and a lot of speed, and he just made everything look easy. So I'm excited to see him going up against this Montreal Magic defense, right? I mean, we talked about obviously AJ if he's there for the game. He can get up with the best of them. Um, Obby Fritz Senatus is there. So Mendel Joseph, who he plays with, Party Crashers in the other division, obviously playing for, pardon me, so not Mendel Joseph, my apologies. David Polonese, who you talked about before. Felix Boutte is going to be there as well. Justin McLean, who you talked about. Nick Ropini, Serge Pilon, right?
Mhm.
I'm excited for this game because it's just athlete after athlete after athlete. Emerson Peterkin, he's on the Party Crasher squad. I know he's played a couple games in the past. Hopefully, he'll play this game as well, right? It's just top athletes against top athletes. I'm very excited to watch this game.
Yeah, you love to kind of see that. That's the thing that benefits FPF, and I'm not saying it doesn't benefit others leagues as well. It's just we have so many good athletes that you don't get to kind of see in other leagues, where you have top of the tops playing versus each other week in and week out. So that's like one thing where it's like, you know what, like if you want to see really good competitive football, you literally could show up to Brossard at 8 p.m. Maybe not 8 p.m. depending when you show up, but you should at least see one really good game
Yeah,
between
yeah,
these
yeah.
teams. And it's like you can't. Not a lot of leagues you can be like, oh yeah, by the way, we have um, not NFL, we have a CFL ex CFL player that's playing, or our active CFL player, or a Team Canada
Future CFL players in some
member, or
cases.
just a bunch of really good U Sport athletes. Just so it's always something that's pretty cool to see how big this league is, and how much and how good the competitive is in this in most divisions that you get to
Yep.
that you get to witness and watch.
I will say also don't sleep on we have Naproxen taking on No Regard. That's a game I think is an underrated good game. That's taking place. I mean both teams right now, so Naproxen 0-3, No Regard 0-4, so they're struggling to get into the win column. That game taking place this Sunday, the 15th at Stady Bear. So looking at it right here, right? So I mean, you have a veteran squad, No Regard, right? Joey Natero, Ken Meyer has been there forever. One of the captains, Kenny Bay, Miles Gibbon, Ryan Perry, Sanders, homeboy Terry, Gravel taking on. Speaking of youth sports, right? Just team in the process, a bunch of former youth sports guys, right? Emilio James Leclerc, Demetrios Sinadinos, you throw in like Stephen Casey's on the team. You throw in a couple guys from former Cavaliers like Zach Brassard on the team. Tristan Toussaint, usually from Mixology, he's on the team, right? Nicolas Pierre Massey as well, right? So you have actually on both teams you have former university players and college players on both sides. One team know a lot more experience in that regard, taking on the Proston, who's their roster is predominantly new-ish players here in FPF. So one team's gonna have a W after this game is who's gonna be. We're gonna have to find out.
Mhm. Yeah, it should be good. I'm curious to see who's gonna win that game too.
Who would you pick right now?
Depend. I would go in a proxy. I think Norgard just has a bad curse with them right now, and they just can't get a win. I think they have. I think they struggle at the quarterback with the guy that they have right now, the CJIP quarterback. I think he's gonna take him. It's gonna take him a while to kind of adapt and kind of understand flag in 5v5 football, and um, I think because of that, it's gonna be one of the biggest issues that they're gonna have into this season, and something that they're gonna struggle for the next game. You?
I'm gonna go with no regard. Again, they have the veteran experience. Um, yeah, I just think like Miles, he knows what it takes. Has he
Miles
won
not the
many?
quarterback though.
Oh, Miles not the quarterback. Okay, my apologies.
So the quarterback
Okay.
is it's a guy from what's that team? Lino Gru, I want to say it's a quarterback from Lino Gru. Um, he's the quarterback right now
Zach,
for them.
that was Zach Deschamps or
Yeah, Jacques Deschamps. Yeah, he's the quarterback for them.
okay.
He's pretty good. To be honest, he plays. I think Lino Gru is Division Two for CJEP. He's pretty good. It's just again, it's hard to adapt and kind of understand 5v5, and you're playing versus mostly a lot of Division 1 players that are fast, and you don't have those quick outs. You don't have it's the fields are different, right? Like you can't take a comeback and feel like a 10-year comeback's there, and the corner's kind of dropping down, coming up. Coverages are different, so I think that's one thing that Norgard is kind of struggling with, and it comes to a fact where if they can't score points on offense, their defense only could do so much before they break.
Hey, I'm just wondering though, because I mean, Demetrius Sinadinos, right? I mean, former McGill quarterback. I think this he's played here and there, subbing on teams. This is his first year really starting. I mean, he's only actually played one game, right? And would you put your money on Stephen Casey over the Basarga? I don't know.
Yeah, so
Not
basically,
Basarga.
yeah, so Casey subbed in for a bit, and then now Dimitri's back, and he's going to be finishing the rest of the season.
Okay. So basically, it's two inexperienced quarterbacks, at least as far as FPF is concerned. I don't know. I think better supporting cast is with no regard. That's why I would pick them, to be honest with you.
Mhm. I think it's more the yeah. I get it. It's just I think if your quarterback's struggling and you have problems going up the field, like you can't win games without scoring points.
That's true. That is true. That is true. Oh, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Again, that matchup is taking place this Sunday, I believe. So yeah, this Sunday at Steady Bear 11 p.m. on a Sunday. So yeah, that'll be a good way to
Definitely
close off
recording.
week 7 of the action here.
Mhm.
All right, man. I
um,
think that pretty much does it.
yeah, I think that's about it. Again, just something quickly to say. We said it in the part one. It's part two. The website. Bear with us. Again, bear with the league. There's a lot of updates. A lot of stuff are going. I know some people are complaining that they can't see stats. They can't see games that are uploaded. Sometimes uploading games sometimes it doesn't work. It's very it's frustrating on both sides, the player side, the employee side, the people that are kind of taking care of it because I'm sure some people do go to scorekeepers and they go, hey, like the game's not uploaded, and you upload the game, it's just not there. So things are being done. We've changed. They've added some things with the website as well regarding the record books. That's pretty much all up to date now. For the All Stars, it's not fully updated. I think they have for this year, and they're kind of going back. They're backlogging it for it, but in the near future, everything is going to be updated. The website's going to run properly. You're going to have the All Stars showed up back to the teams that won the championships, the teams that players that have records, players that are soon going to break records and stuff like that. So you're able to kind of see and you can see how far you are, how close you are, because you'll be surprised on some players don't realize how much they've done in this league and how close they are to being the top 10 or top 5 or even top 1. So it's going to be in a couple I don't want to say weeks, but like by next season everything should be up to date, website should be running properly, and everything should be good to go.
Yeah, but like you said, in the meantime, obviously you could again, the record books are there, individual stuff, championships are there, all the history that matters to this league and how established this league is there for you to see. Ali Reza was just telling us if you guys, players at home, both female and male, if you guys have any suggestions of what you would like to see, like what more we could add to the website, like feel free to let us know. So, yeah, we okay. So what you should do, so I think that's like it's saying. Um, if you have any complaints right now about the website or anything happens in the future that you don't like, go message League Suite. So again, League Suite is the new directors and new leaders of the website, if you will. Send your messages directly to League Suite so they could get to the bottom of it right away and address the issues that you guys are having. So again, because League Suite is the new scorekeeping app that we've been using for the last, I want to say, 6 to 7 months, and they're the ones who have designed this brand new, beautiful looking website. But again, if there's any problems, make sure you message League Suite directly, and they will help you out immediately with your problems for the website.
Sounds good.
All right. Hey.
I think we did pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Good luck to everyone that's playing this week. Shout out to the girlfriends that allow their boyfriends to play on Saturday since it's Valentine's Day. I know
Yeah.
some of the guys were kind of like, they're like, wait,
And
we have
vice
a game on
vice versa as
Saturday?
well.
Like,
And vice versa
this,
too, right? So
sorry?
shout out to the boyfriends that are letting their girlfriends play too,
Yeah,
right?
it's true. Both, yeah, my bad. Goes both ways. But couple of my players on shot o'clock was like, wait, we have a game on Saturday. They go at 11. Like so. It's like kind of like the end of the night.
Mhm.
To a certain point. I know some people that's the last thing they kind of want to do after going to dinner or having dinner or
Yeah.
just having plans with their person. So shout out to everyone that shout out to the guys, the girls that are kind of letting them go to flag games because you'll be surprised. Some people are like, oh no, game's at 7 o'clock. Sorry, bro, I have dinner. I can't be there this week. So yeah.
You, know, you got to do like a matinee movie and then like a 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon movie. It's cheaper, by the way. And then do like, I don't know, like a 6 o'clock dinner and then be out of there by 8. Get your game for 9 or whatever the case may be. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody watching. Uh, yeah. What did I want to say? Oh, yeah. So we talked about it in the first episode. We'll talk about it here quickly. Super Bowl, Seahawks dominated the Patriots. It is what it is. Seahawks defense, Sam Darnold, his redemption story. The Jets are a horrible, horrible franchise. Panthers too. Yeah, horrible game. I stopped watching about halfway through the third quarter. I'm like, yeah, this game is done. It, did you watch the halftime? I liked the Bad Bunny performance. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was pretty cool.
I,
I'm
I
not the
didn't
biggest
mind it to
Bad
be
Bunny
honest with
fan.
you. I knew there was a bit of hate, and people were kind of saying, "Oh, this was the
Yeah, of
worst
course,
thing." But
Americans, right?
again, you kind of have to. One thing that you have
Americans
to
being
realize
American.
is that if you don't like the genre of his music, you're not gonna like it. That's for one thing I have to say. And if you're someone that just doesn't know how to listen to other music, you're not gonna like it. Like so if you're someone that like, as an example, when Kendrick Lamar did it last year, he had so many popular songs. I'm not saying Bad Bunny doesn't have popular songs. It's to a genre of I don't want to say like Canada, but like people are used to Kendrick Lamar, or people are used to listen to Kendrick Lamar. So like when people that are kind of saying like, oh, the Super Bowl was horrible, I'm like, oh, I don't think it was horrible. I think it was good. I think he had some messages too out there, and I think the performance, the singing was good. Like to be honest, I think it was. It was. I feel like it was good, but I just know some people were like, no, that was like the worst Super Bowl performance that I saw. But I think those are people that just don't listen to other type of music or just don't understand other type of music.
So it's people who don't listen to other types of music, probably don't really care for other types of cultures. Let's be honest. There's a lot of right wing Americans and some Canadians too. Let's not act like Canada's perfect because it's definitely not. Uh, yeah, he did the majority of his performance in Spanish because that's the language he speaks. And Americans need to not forget that Puerto Rico is part of the states, right? It's in America, Puerto Rico. Just want to put that out there because a lot of people are acting like Puerto Rico is not part of the United States. They
Yeah,
think it's in South
yeah, it's
America or
kind of
something. No, it's part of the states. You gotta know your history. Listen, I like the performance. I like it. The message of unity, especially in the states right now, is completely divisive. A lot of things over there, led by their commander in chief. I like the message that it sent. I like the fact that he actually had an engagement and a wedding actually during the performance, which I think is super
yeah. I
cool.
read I read about
Uh,
that too. It's pretty. That was
yeah,
cool to
yeah, it was
see.
pretty dope. Jessica Alba was there. It's never a bad thing when you see Jessica Alba. I mean, they had Ricky Martin was there, Lady Gaga. I'll give Lady. I was talking about this with somebody at work, and Lady Gaga, like, oh, I think it was cool that she kind of tried something different, right? She doesn't sing salsa, right?
Mm.
But she
He tried it.
turned. I forget. I don't know what the song was, but she made it into like kind of a salsa rhythm, and then I
He
give her
did
props.
the Bruno Mars song. I forgot what it's called. But
There you
yeah,
go.
no, yeah, it was good. It was good.
Anyways, it's about inclusion and accepting other people. And then you have hillbillies who supported the Kid Rock concert, which was horrible. And I'm a John Stewart fan. I was watching John Stewart, and they said, "This is real old American English." And he saw there, "What a bit of bang, a bang, and whatever, some stupidity like that." Hillbilly stuff, hillbilly white people stuff. It is what it is. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. And yeah, that was a bunch of artists now either dropped out of doing that concert or dropping out of a future concert with Kid Rock. It is what it is. Their alternative Super Bowl halftime. Yeah, good luck with that. That stuff looked like it was trash, and no one cared. Bad Bunny, the man won a Grammy. Can't be that bad. And you know what? He opened the door to a bit more diversity and inclusion, which is always needed, no matter where you live, right? So,
Mhm.
yeah, my 2 cents.
All right.
All right, yeah. So that does it for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe as always, right on YouTube. Check out the videos on Instagram, everything on Facebook. Thank you guys for filling out the polls. I did a quick poll. Most of the people before the Super Bowl started, about half an hour before, most of the people picked Seattle, obviously. Shout out last week. I forgot to say, shout out last week to Omar, who stepped in as a producer. Today, the main man, Ali Reza, is back. So thanks to both of you guys for doing what you guys do, making us look good and sound good. Uh, yeah, we out.
Peace.
Put the place up. Yeah, we